been many powerful warriors throughout the millennia. But ages of Mortal Kombat have begun to tear at the fabric of the realms. The critical point has finally been reached. It was foreseen that combatants would one day grow too powerful and too numerous. If left unchecked, their intensifying combat would weaken and shatter the realms and bring about the apocalypse. The Elder Gods demanded a safeguard be put in place to avoid total destruction. One that would make use of the combatants' insatiable bloodlust. Like moths to flame, they would be drawn to battle. Will be broken. And old hatreds will be revived. Armageddon has begun.
Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of French's Arcade Assault. Today we are playing Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So I'm just going to quickly check, and I'm gonna be playing on regular hard mode, not the highest difficulty, mostly because I don't feel all that confident with 3D Mortal Kombat. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, so because I haven't done Conquest mode, I don't have Taven, Dagon, Meat, or Blaze unlocked. However, as you can see from this roster select, well, the character select screen, yeah, basically everybody is here. Like, Chameleon, who was only in MK Trilogy, I think he was only in the N64 version, is here. And in the Wii version of this game, Female Chameleon is also in. I'm playing the PS2 version, though. Also, Serena is in this one, and she was only playable in, like, Deadly Alliance Tournament Edition on the Game Boy Advance. And then, mostly unplayable boss characters like Moloch, Onaga, Kintaro, Goro, Shao Kahn, and Motaro. They are also all here. So basically, if they had ever been playable up to this point, they are here. So, the question is, who am I going to start with? And the answer is, I'm going to start with Johnny Cage and see how we do. So, fun fact, actually, let's see who our opponents are. We have Motaro, Sub-Zero, Quan Chi, Shujinko, Havoc, Nightwolf, and Cobra. Okay, that seems doable. That seems like a okay set of opponents. Also, yeah, Cobra, I don't know, I don't think Cobra is a character who is, very likely to be coming back anytime soon. But who knows? Also, that was a quick little bit of, this game's gimmick, which is kind of air combat. I'll be honest, I know it exists. I know that you can kind of knock your opponent into the air, then just kind of jump up and do air combos, and I know you can do absolutely ridiculous stuff with it. I do not know how to do the ridiculous stuff with it, so, yeah, you won't be seeing anything absolutely absurd out of me with it, unfortunately. But hey, we'll get a couple of uses out of it here and there. Also, this game has the kind of weird creative fatality system, and, yeah, I'll be honest, I'm kind of just mashing buttons. So, yeah, that wasn't exactly the most, impactful of fatalities, but hey, I mean, we ripped something out. Okay, so, here we go on stage 2 now. We are in I guess, you know, nothing says a fight involving, like, everyone and, like, the state of all the realms is lying in the balance. Like, a fight in a sawmill, I guess. Also, I'll be honest, Nightwolf, character I thought was really cool in Deception. I barely played him in this, and I never really played him all that much in any other subsequent game. However, who knows, maybe a time will come where Nightwolf becomes a character I become super fond of, who knows. I mean, to be fair, I never really cared much for Johnny Cage during these games either, so who knows? Like, I didn't care much for Cage until MK9, where he ended up being one of my mains. Like, in MK9, I mostly played Johnny, Ermac, and later I started playing a bit of Freddy, but I don't think I ever quite, like, got the hang of his gameplay quite as much as with Johnny or Ermac. But, yeah, pretty much, Johnny was a character I never really cared a massive amount for in my, early days of playing Mortal Kombat, I suppose. Mostly because I never really had much of an I never really had much of an attachment to kind of classic MK. Now, I'm just gonna kind of double back here and try to get a stage fatal. Fantastic. Sorry, Nightwolf. Into the saw you go. But yeah, I never really had much of an attachment to kind of classic Mortal Kombat. So, like, it's one of those things where, like, I go back to it and it's just like, this just doesn't really feel right. I don't know, I think it's like I need to be in, like, a certain mind to, like, want to play classic Mortal Kombat. So the first one I properly played was Deadly Alliance, and, yeah, I did not like Deadly Alliance very much when I played it. I do kind of want to try playing it again, because it's been a very long time since I last played it. And then I really liked Deception, but obviously Johnny wasn't in Deception. And after that, there was Armageddon, which, yeah, Armageddon, well, it was pretty much a, hey, look at everyone is here. And I thought that was super cool. Then MK vs. DC Universe happened, and, well, that was possibly the shortest round I've ever played. But yeah, I think MK vs. DC, I think the less we talk about that, possibly maybe the better. Then MK9 happened, and I think that's where I started to really like Mortal Kombat. Like, MK9, MKX, MK11, mostly 9 and X, because I think I like them a little bit more than 11. I haven't played MK1 yet, it's just come out as of the time of me recording this. And, I mean, it's looking really good, and I can also kind of pivot this into another bit of conversation, because I have seen it be a little bit of a point of contention for some people that the game doesn't seem to have any new fighters to it. But realistically, now this may just be kind of a bit of cope on my part, but realistically, characters like Havoc, characters like Nitara, Li Mei, Ashura, that's what she was called, like, and even characters who are appearing in cameos like Shujinko and Darius, like, they haven't been in a game since this one. Like, I know Havoc played a major role in the MKX comics, and I know he gets referenced a couple, and I know all the characters get referenced every now and then. Well, there's another stage fail. Like, and I know some of the characters get referenced here and there in, like, character endings and character intros in MKX and MK11. But, like, realistically, I think it's kind of just fine, because since it's, like, a full universe reset and everything, I don't really have any issues. Like, since it's a full reset on the universe, so a lot of the characters are kind of different in a lot of ways. And also, just because, like, a lot of them seem to have different motivations and kind of backgrounds, I don't really see much issue with the idea of them being just a little bit different. Like, I don't really have much issue with the idea of looking at them as new, unique characters. Because realistically, I have a feeling they're probably at least a bit different from their classic incarnations. And let's be real, a lot of people that have gotten into the series, in the years that followed, probably don't really know a massive amount about the classic characters, or like maybe they never played the games that they were in, and it's like, hey, this is, like, basically, it's kind of like a fresh introduction to some of these older characters. And I want to get away from that death trap, because it's looking like we're gonna lose here, so that's not great. Honestly, if that combo had landed, I don't think I would have been... If that combo had landed, I don't think I would have even been able to be mad about it. Okay, we are on lowest pot. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, that's loss number 1. So yeah, that's just my kind of general outlook on it. I don't really mind the idea of looking at some of these characters like they are completely brand new fighters. Because realistically... Okay, so let's just quickly look at this roster, for example. Like, Jarek never came back. Oh, Reiko. Reiko is back in the game. He was only playable in this and MK4. Kai never came back ever again. Who else was there? Like, Shiva only turned up in a couple of games. It was Ashura, Nitara, Li Mei. They're all just coming back now. I wouldn't mind seeing Draman come back. I think Draman could be interesting. But I'm gonna stop rambling now and go to a different character. Let's switch it up and go to Kabal. Kabal is another one of my favourite Mortal Kombat characters just across the board. I've never been amazing with him in any of the games though, but he's always been a character that I've just really liked. Weirdly enough, despite the fact that he's been a character that I've always really liked and I've never been all that good with him, he seems to, like, consistently be one of the best characters in the game in most incarnations of the series that I've seen. So I guess that's interesting. Which, if anything, maybe it's just like, I don't know if it's I can't play top tiers, or maybe I'm just bad. It might be a little bit of A, a little bit of B. It's probably a bit of both. Also, I'll be honest, I have never actually looked at Sunbin combos. It's like, every time I ever play Kabal in this game, it's just like, yeah, I'll just use the hook swords. Why would I ever need something else? I should have just... Somewhat ironically, I think Sunbin would have probably had a faster button for me there. So, who knows? I'll be honest, Quan Chi seems to be causing me a bit of an issue. I'll be honest, Quan Chi seems to cause me an issue in most Mortal Kombats for some reason. Like, you know that one character who it doesn't matter which game you're playing them in, you always just have an issue with? For some reason, it's always Quan Chi for me in this game. Well, in Mortal Kombat in general. Okay, I should have punished that. And we lose Cabal, great. I will say, I do find it kind of funny when the AI kind of just like slowly creeps up and then just goes BAM! Uppercut. Okay, let's try Shang Tsung. Have actual match of the Deadly Alliance. Honestly, as much as I do think Quan Chi is kind of cool, and I like the idea of him being like kind of subservient to Shinnok, but also like he's very clearly like plotting his own thing. I always thought that was really interesting, but at the same time, I just think Shang Tsung is a bit cooler. That, and also I love this look for Shang Tsung. It's my favorite design he's ever had. Like, I think he looks cool in a lot of the games, but like in general, I think this is probably my favorite version of Shang. I've never been good with Shang in any of the games, to be totally honest. But to be honest, I've been pretty bad with most of the roster and most of the games. And... okay, can I just hit him with a fireball? Nice, we take a round. We take a round, which is honestly better than I was expecting. Okay, so... also, I kind of love how this stage just has 4 death traps, 1 in each corner. Which, I imagine in a scenario... which, to be fair, is kind of cool. It's just like, hey, which death trap do you want? Because, like, hey, if you knock your opponent too far into the corner, they're done. Although, at the same time, there is also, whatchamacallit, and we are definitely losing this round by the looks of things. No. No. That was so close. Oh, if I'd hit that combo, I think he was in. But this is looking pretty good for me, because he is in a bad position here. And he is now out of breakers. So as long as I just get a hit in, like if I get one clean hit, I think he's done. I say is like immediately get a clean hit and then don't do anything. But there he goes. In you go, Quan Chi. Burn. I mean, he should be used to warm places. He's like, I mean, he mostly spends time in the Nether Realm, right? I don't actually remember. I don't remember a massive amount about Quan Chi's lore. I think he's kind of interesting, but I don't really know all that much about the guy. Okay, so, Sub-Zero, specifically Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, because obviously by this point in the timeline, Bihan has long since become Noob Saibot. And, okay, let's try... what's a combo? Let's try... oh, well... also, I think this is a remake of a stage from, I want to say it's like Mortal Kombat 3? I'll be honest, if it's about classic, like, a classic Mortal Kombat, I will probably make mistakes on it. Because, I'll be totally honest, I do not remember a massive amount about it. I mean, I say that at the same time, and for many, many years, I have thought... okay, that was so bad. For many years, I actually thought that one of the moves... basically... also, I'm doing nothing to help us here. Basically, I remember seeing the one time, and the only time I ever saw Mortal Kombat 4 in an arcade. I'm pretty sure okay, so basically, I'm just trying to remember exactly how this was. Because I remember seeing in War Gods, I assume the cabinet must have been, like, right next to Mortal Kombat 4. Because in that game, Anubis has a move where he, like, shoots out a pyramid, and it kind of, like, picks up his opponent and drags them towards him. And I remember seeing that, and I assume that the cabinets must have been right next to each other. Because I remember seeing that while my brother was playing Mortal Kombat 4 in the arcade. Fun fact, only time I ever saw Mortal Kombat 4 in an arcade. And basically, for years, I was certain that Raiden had that move. Like, for some reason, I believe that Raiden had that move with the pyramid for years afterwards. Okay. Wasn't quite what I intended, but okay. So that is Sub-Zero defeated and 2 wins for Shang Tsung. That's 2 more than I was expecting to get with him, so let's go. Now we have to fight Motaro, who is a returning sub-boss from Mortal Kombat 3. However, because I assume getting a 4-legged character to work in a 3D space probably would be a nightmare to, you know, work with. He is a satyr now rather than a centaur. So it's not exactly ideal. Like, I know a lot of people are very upset about that. but I understand exactly why Midway would have made that design choice. Also, I mean, Motaro's back now, because he appears in MK1 as a cameo character. Also, MK1 looks so good. I cannot wait to see that game in tournament. Like, just from the first couple of days of watching it, I'm loving seeing the game, and I can't wait to see what people do in tournament. Okay, so we took a comfortable first round, so that was pretty decent damage, actually. I never knew that stage interaction was here. Either way, we seem to be getting pretty decent damage out. Also, if I'd ended the round on that, that would have been a perfect way for, like, Suhao to go out. I know that Suhao is, like, the meme character, of just like, of course, everybody hates Suhao. Can I just hit him up here? Yes, I can! Into the fan he goes. I should probably go apologize to Sector for that, because, man, that made quite a mess. Okay, so, now we reach Blaze, the final boss of the game, and he is a big fire elemental. Not to be... Like, he also does have a much kind of smaller, like, human-sized playable version, but that version is in... He's in MK Unchained on the PSP, which is just Deception on the PSP, and he also is playable as a, like, secret unlockable in Deadly Alliance. I don't remember exactly how you get him, though. I think it has some... I want to say it's, like, complete the story... Not the story, the Conquest mode, to 100%. To be honest, well, that didn't go well. Maybe I should actually use the 3D space a bit more. Like, I'm pretty sure that's how you unlock him in Deadly Alliance. I'll be honest, I never had the chance to unlock him in Deadly Alliance, because realistically, yeah, I never, like, forget not managing to get all of the Conquest challenges done, I never even unlocked every character in that game. Mostly because I didn't know where all the characters were, and unlike in Deception, where you kind of just find a lot of no. And unlike in Deception, where you can find a lot of the hidden characters as you just go through the story mode, or then you just find the keys to unlock them in the crypt, like, it was complete guesswork for me to try to find them when playing Deadly Alliance. Because, well, I was playing it at a time when I didn't have, like, regular access to the internet, basically. So, yeah, that wasn't exactly the optimal time for me to be trying to play it. I mean, I do kind of want to try playing in Deadly Alliance again at some point. At some point, I will actually do an Arcade Assault episode on. And nice, Shang Tsung is going to be our... Well, I suppose Shang Tsung is going to be our supreme champion of Mortal Kombat. Because, well, he's defeated Blaze, and, well, this can only be bad. But hey, we will see what Shang Tsung's ending has in store for the realms.
Empowered by the godlike energy he received from Blaze, Shang Tsung found that he could alter the forms of others. Enraged that he was denied the prize, Shao Kahn charged the sorcerer. With a gesture of his hand, Shang Tsung transformed his former master into a centaur slave. Shang Tsung had become the ruler of Outworld at last.
You know, considering he basically just got, like, godlike abilities, that seems kind of small scale for Shang Tsung, but okay. Okay, so now we can update the thing and say, like, hey, how many times did we lose? I think we only actually lost twice. We lost with Johnny and we lost with Cabal. Like, I will call that a massive success. So, so yeah, we can have that, and I can also bring up the thing and be like, hey, how many times did we lose compared to everyone else? However, I don't want to end this off just yet, because I want to play a little bit of Mortal Kombat. So, this little game mode, there's only like 4 tracks. So there's the Linque Eraseray, the Outworld Refinery, the Botan Jungle, the Lost Pyramid, and Bo Raicho's Brewery. Brewery. That's a difficult word. So you can play as Baraka, Boraicho, Johnny Cage, Cyrax, Jax, Kitana, Melina, or Raiden. Wait, or Scorpion or Sub-Zero. Kinda weird that started me on Baraka. So I am going to play as... Okay, for Lin Kuei Raceway, I might as well play as Sub-Zero. And honestly, I might as well just run through all of these tracks, because they're pretty short as far as I recall. Like, I'm pretty sure these are relatively short, and it's just like a little kart racer. One thing that I will say that I do genuinely really love and appreciate about this kind of era of Mortal Kombat, okay, R2 is my button to go. Good to know. Yeah, that's something I greatly appreciate about this kind of era for Mortal Kombat, where it's just like, hey, here's a weird kind of goofy little game mode to have just in addition to the fighting. Like, I think I prefer chess combat to this, and I kind of go a bit back and forth on, what's it called? Puzzle combat. But, like, I do quite like this one. And honestly, if they'd ever, like, expanded on it, I would not have minded playing it. Also, it's not really worth me picking up those coins, because they only require, basically, they are coins that you can spend in the crypt to unlock things. But that requires using, like, a character profile, and honestly, I didn't actually make one. So, picking those up doesn't do anything for me. And obviously, the star is like a specific weapon for a character. So, obviously, Sub-Zero has the freeze ball, Scorpion has a spear, Baraka has like a little bolt that he shoots, I think. Jax has the ground slam. I don't really remember what the others are. Oh, Bo Raisho's is, you know, because it's Bo Raisho and it has to be gross, it's just like, yeah, he throws up everywhere. Which is kind of gross, because, yeah, that's Bo Raisho. Also, is there a button to look behind me? Yes, there is. I can press triangle and look behind me. Good to know. Also, as it turns out, this track may be a little bit longer than I think it is. And also, we are now only... Well, we're coming up on the end of the second lap. And also, 10 out of 10, we are not winning. So yeah, I think this is a fun little game mode, but I think it might definitely have a bit of, everyone seems to go at the same speed issues. Because I don't think there's any, like, specific, whatchamacallit. Like, I don't think all the racers have individual stats or anything. Also, if you go off the track, you do get hit with death traps. So, obviously, gonna try to avoid those, because, well, you never really want to get hit with them. But I don't know if there's, like, a drifting mechanic or anything. I know you can kind of I know you can charge up and get a bump. And also, I don't know how Raiden keeps catching up to me so fast. Like, maybe they do all have stats, and maybe Sub-Zero just isn't good. But either way, like, we've managed to hit Raiden multiple times, and we just aren't winning here. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, this is the Lin Kuei Raceway, and I imagine it's based on the entire Lin Kuei Temple. I know that you do go to the Lin Kuei Temple in the Conquest mode. At some point I might actually come back and do the Conquest mode as a little series, because it's not massively long, and it's not massively long, and I do remember it being kind of fun. And in general, yeah, it's kind of... I do remember liking it, but also it's just like, hey, the fact that it never seems to get referenced ever again doesn't really bode too well. I don't actually know whatever happened to Taven in the next timeline. Like, in the MK9 timeline, I do not know what happened to Taven or Dagon. Like, I think Dagon gets referenced, and we absolutely just stole this right at the end, maybe. No, we just got bumped out of the way by everyone by the looks of it, but we got a boost right at the end and absolutely steal the win. Fantastic. We love to steal wins here. So yeah, I don't really know what happened to Taven and Dagon in the new timeline, which is a little bit weird, because I'm pretty sure that okay, Outworld Refinery. Well, since we're going to Outworld, let's go Baraka for this one. If nothing else, maybe we'll be able to make Baraka not be a jobber, because honestly, he's been a jobber to everybody for, like, he is jobber to the stars. It is tragic. But yeah, so yeah, I would quite like to know what was going on. Like, what happened with Taven and Dagon in the MK9 MKX timeline. Also, not gonna lie, this looks like a kind of sick. Like, If Baraka's car design had turned up in like a Twisted Metal or something, I would not have been too surprised. I now just went flying off there and there. But yeah, honestly, I will say, I do like how MK1, I do appreciate how that is bringing in a lot of, well, maybe not a lot of them, but it's kind of bringing in the characters who, for a long time, well, that didn't work for me too well. But yeah, I like how it's kind of bringing in some characters who, for a long time, looked like they might just never turn up in a playable capacity again. Mostly Havoc, mostly because I thought Havoc was super cool. I was never good with him, but like, I hope that when I eventually do get to play MK1, because honestly, I don't know if I don't know how well my PC would actually run it. So I'll probably just wait and get it on PS5, but I don't currently own a PS5, so you know. Have to wait on that. At the same time, it's the same thing for Tekken 8, so, yeah, I definitely need to get a PS5 at some point. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, and I look forward to hopefully getting to see more of the kind of 3D era characters coming in, even if it's just in a capacity as cameos. Because realistically, we probably don't need everybody to be in the game. And, like, I feel like there's a couple of characters who, like, if they never come back, no one's really going to be all that bothered. Although, to be fair, I think for a lot of people, they probably weren't going to be all that bothered if Havoc or Nitara or characters like that never came back. But honestly, I do think they made a lot of the right choices with the 3D era characters to bring back. Also, special mention to Kenshi, who, it has been said to death many times over already. But I love how Kenshi was just, like, the 3D era character that everyone kind of immediately went, yeah, he's just always been here. Like, everyone just kind of, like, it was kind of just agreed upon that, like, yes, Kenshi is cool enough, he's always been here, actually. Which, to be fair, like, Kenshi is ridiculously cool. I've never been particularly good with him. I never played him in MK9, I never actually had him in MK9. But I remember liking him in Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon, despite also never being good with him. And I never really played him all that much in MKX. I'll be honest, oh, that was close. Like, in MKX, I never really actually ended up deciding on who a main would, like, I never really settled on a main. Because, like, in MK9 in MK9, I played Ermac and Johnny a lot. But I don't know, I just never really clicked with them as much. And we lost to Cyrax by like a quarter of a second or something. That kind of sucks for me, but whatever. But yeah, so I've lost my train of thought. Okay, boat and jungle. Let's go. Let's go Katana for this next one. So yeah, I've lost my train of thought. Like, it is completely gone. But yeah, so I think it's kind of cool that we're seeing all these characters again. And honestly, it's going to really bug me that I've lost my train of thought now. Oh. And, yeah, so, oh, hang on, wait. Do I have, like, a handbrake or anything? I don't think I do. But yeah, I'm glad to see those characters and oh, Bowser! I never settled on a main in MKX. Because, I don't know, despite the fact that I played them so much in MK9, just, I don't know, with the variations, well, we died, okay. Like, with none of the variations, like, Johnny and Ermac and everybody else, no, I just never really clicked with any one character in MKX, and I don't really know why. Like, I never had the DLC fighters, so maybe one of them would have clicked for me. I will say my, as much as I do love watching MKX, it's one of my favorite fighting games ever to watch. Man, the time of alien dominance was not a fun time to be a spectator for that game. So like, hey, I hope you like alien mirror matches. It's like, no, I really don't actually. But yeah, I never really settled on a main in MK9. No, wait, MKX. I also never really settled on one in MK11. So hopefully I'll manage to figure out who I'm going to main in MK12. I still want to call it MK12, MK1, sorry. But yeah, like, the game looks really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the tournaments, and hopefully all the DLC characters will be super cool. Well, honestly, I was kind of surprised to see, like, Takeda in there as a DLC character, because, like, Ermac, fine. Love Ermac. Hopefully I can... Just looking at him, like, looking at the design from, like, the kind of trailer they showed for him, I kind of hope I can get a different look for him, but otherwise, you know, he's still my big favorite. Like, Quan Chi, fine. With Shang Tsung being... Like, with Shang Tsung being in the game as... I don't know what his deal is in the game. I haven't played the game's story yet. And that was very generous of the game. Oh, that's what Baraka's weapon does. It just completely brings you to a dead halt. Okay. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Quan Chi does things. Because, obviously, with Shang Tsung being the kind of pre-order DLC character, I like that they have at least both sides of the Deadly Alliance there. Then, obviously, they have guest characters, because, you know, Mortal Kombat loves its guest characters, has done for a long time. And then it's just a little bit... I don't know, I feel like Takeda is a bit of an out-there pick, because it's like... I mean, he was very popular, I know that much. I know people really liked Takeda. Also, Cyrax is being the absolute bane of my existence right now. Like, if this was a Grand Prix, I'm now behind Cyrax in points, I think. Because I've been first, second. I don't know how we did in the first one. Okay, next race, the Lost Pyramid. Let's go Scorpion. Yes, I played Sub-Zero in the first one, okay. So yeah. And then, obviously, there's, I think it's Homelander, Omni-Man, and Peacemaker, I think, as the kind of guest characters for Season 1. And I think those, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't watched Peacemaker, I haven't read or watched The Boys, and I also haven't watched or read Invincible. So, I'll be honest, I know next to nothing about any of those guest characters, but I'm hoping they're cool. Like, I hope they're cool, and... look forward to seeing what people manage with them. But, yeah, I'll see how those go in due time. And then, realistically, when it comes to the main roster, like, I think whoever I... No, that was close. Whoever I end up maining will probably have just been there from the main roster. Although, currently I'm probably leaning towards Havoc. Like, I'm probably currently leaning towards either Havoc or Reptile. I mean, realistically, I should play Reptile. Now, I should play Havoc, because he's a super... Well, we died. Like, I should probably play Havoc, because he just looks super cool. Little Nerfin. But also, I feel like I need to at least try playing Reptile, because Reptile is a character who every single time I've ever picked up Mortal Kombat, every time, ever since I was a little kid, I've always thought, man... Reptile's so cool, I'm gonna main Reptile. I have never ended up maining Reptile, and I feel like I should, you know, at least commit to playing him at some point. Because I know he's a really cool character, he's always been one of my favourite characters, I've just never, like, sat down and learned him in any game. Which is a shame, because, no, well, we fell into a hole, okay. Yeah, it's just... I don't know, I've never kind of gotten the hang of playing Reptile in any game, and honestly, that's something I should probably... I feel like I should just, like, commit to learning the character, you know? Because realistically, he is a really cool character, and also, he's kind of just, like, one of the most iconic kind of legacy characters, I guess. Because he was, like, the secret fighter in the original Mortal Kombat. And I kind of love what they've done with his design and everything. How he's now, like, actually kind of, like, person, but can also, like... Okay. And also kind of just, like, goes in between that and being a proper, like, massive reptile. I think the design for him in MK1 is so sick, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully being able to play him. I say hopefully being able to play him. Hopefully I'll be able to play him somewhat competently. And... Wait, for the first time in ages, I can actually see Raiden just off on the horizon. I mean, I won't catch up to him in time to hit him with the spear, but hey, once again, I'm gonna... I just got I got 3 second places in a row. This is actually starting to bug me. But you know what? Cyrax got 6th, and that's good enough for me. Okay, so, yeah. Who else would I actually want to see in the game? Also, the last race we're doing is going to be here on Boraicho's Brewery. So, obviously, gonna go home field advantage, home track advantage. Honestly, if they brought back Boraicho in MK1, I think there is a character who's like that timeline's equivalent though, so I imagine they might not turn up as a fighter. But like, yeah, I think it would be kind of funny. I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone was really out here thinking, yeah, Boraicho's gonna be turning up in MKX. Although, to be fair, the fact that we have a timeline where Boraicho can, like, throw hands with the Predator, and, like, we live in a timeline where, in MKX, Boraicho can throw hands with the Predator and Jason Voorhees and win. Which is very funny on many levels to me. Which, like, it is as funny as the character is generally kinda gross. Like, I don't know, I think that's kind of just a funny little thing. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Hotaru come back. Like, I think Hotaru is a really cool character from the 3D era. And I would like to see Dairu come back, but I don't know if he will. Like, I know Dairu was a character that I really liked in Deception, but I don't know how valuable an option it is. And also, I just looked at the kind of, like, placements, and of course Cyrax is ahead of me. Why would any other character be ahead of me? If I'm gonna lose to someone, it's apparently always gonna be Cyrax in this game. I guess he's just built different. Okay. Still gross. Also, just like, I feel like Boraicho should maybe see a doctor. Like, if he's throwing up, like, that much, that consistently, that's like, that can't be good for your health. Like, those cannot be, like, the actions of a healthy man, you know? Anyway, who else was even introduced in the 3D era? Like, Frost keeps coming back. I think Frost is kind of cool. Honestly, I don't mind, like, I don't mind some of the Red Dragon characters, but I would much rather have, like, Kira and Cobra come back than, like, Movado or Suhao. Oh. And, yeah, I think that, like, realistically, if there's, like, a whole, like, opposite universe and everything, I think, realistically, Kira is, I don't know, I think Kira could be really interesting, because she is, like, okay, so my best example for this is, since Cassie is, like, a mix of Johnny and Sonya's gameplay, Kira is already a mix of Kano and Sonya's. Like, I'm not saying that they need to, like, rewrite a timeline and be like, oh, that's their kid, because that would be weird. Yet. But, like, I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting how Kira is basically just like, hey, he has these two characters' movesets in one, because they just didn't make it into the next game over. I think that's kind of fun. Like, I like the idea of, hey, he has a new character, they are the mix of two other characters that just aren't in this one. I think that's kind of interesting. And also, we lost 4 out of those 5 races. We got first once and second 4 times. That is kind of a disaster. So I'm going to quickly just look at this and see who else would I want to see turn up. Because, honestly, looking at this roster, I think we made the right choices for the most part with who was going to turn up in MK1. Obviously, though, I want to see Onaga. Like, I want to see the Dragon King return. Like, I don't know how, don't know where, but I want to see Onaga come back, because I think he's super cool. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now, because, well, we kind of finished the actual arcade bit of this, like, 25 minutes ago or something. So I'm going to end off this video here. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any of the buttons down below if you feel so inclined. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow, where, for the last video this week, we will have a quick look on Onimusha Warlords. So, I'm going to end off today's video here. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.